Because you guys asked for it, today we're going to be talking about another 5 retired Disney animatronics. Thanks for your requests, everybody. Don't forget to become part of our notification squad by subscribing and clicking the bell icon. And stick around at the end of the video for a special giveaway. Xenomorph, the Great Movie Ride. When Michael Eisner became CEO of Disney, he was determined to change the perception of Disneyland from a place for kids to a place for the whole family. That meant teens also. So he started greenlighting projects like Videopolis. But he knew that in order to bring Disney parks to the new era, he needed to infuse more of the film industry into them. So he made an unprecedented deal with none other than George Lucas to bring attractions like Captain EO, Star Tours, and Indiana Jones Adventure to the parks. Every one of these attractions was very successful. So in 1987, Imagineers started thinking of bringing another external property into the parks. Alien had come out in theaters in 1979, and the story was still considered a masterpiece. So Imagineers wanted to create an attraction that would bring guests into the world of Alien. And when Tomorrowland became a problem, they knew that it was an opportunity to present this idea to Eisner. And Eisner loved it. He thought the attraction would be a success because it would market itself, and Imagineers wouldn't waste time in coming up with a new story or creature for the attraction. But not everyone was happy with this attraction. Senior Imagineers thought that Ridley Scott's Alien had no place in Disney parks, so they went to George Lucas. Lucas agreed with them, and offered to speak to Eisner on their behalf. So, after talking to Lucas, Eisner decided against using Alien, but told Imagineers that he was confident that they would come up with something just slightly less frightening to be the basis for their alien encounter. And that's how Imagineers came up with Extraterrestrial Alien Encounter. But they had already acquired the licensing right to the film, so what would they do with that? Well, the Great Movie Ride was the perfect attraction to use the Xenomorph in all its glory. The attraction opened on May 1st, 1989, along with Disney's MGM Studios. This dark ride, as we've said before, took us through a lot of scenes from iconic Hollywood movies. And in one of these scenes, we encountered the Nostromo, where we could find an animatronic Ellen Ripley holding a flamethrower and preparing to confront the alien. An alarm stating that the ship's emergency self-destruct system had been activated started sounding. And as the voice started to count down, the alien came out of the ceiling and attacked the front of the vehicle we were riding in. Then the creature attacked again, this time it emerging from the wall, attacking the back of the vehicle. Thankfully, we escaped the creature and went on to the Indiana Jones scene. Nobody knows for sure what happened to these animatronics after the Great Movie Ride was closed, but maybe now, after the Disney-Fox merger, we'll get to see more of the Xenomorph at all the Disney parks. Mickey Mouse and Friends. Mickey Mouse Review. When Walt Disney started developing animatronics, one of his dreams was having an attraction inside a theater, where many Disney characters would not only put on a show, but would also be sitting in boxes with the guests, heckling. This dream came true when Imagineers started planning attractions for Walt Disney World's 1971 opening. Mickey Mouse Revue was one of Magic Kingdom's opening day attractions, and while it didn't turn out to have the hecklers sitting with guests on the boxes, it did have lots of different Disney characters singing and dancing and putting on a fantastic show. The show had 73 different Disney characters and 81 animatronics. Some characters appeared more than once during the show. This was also the only attraction where we could find an animatronic Mickey Mouse. The show started with an 8-minute movie that showed us Mickey's career through the years, and the use of sound in his cartoons and films. The first part of the show was narrated by an animated soundtrack like the one we see in Fantasia. Then we could see Mickey and lots of other Disney characters dancing at Disneyland and welcoming us to the show. Next, we entered a theater with an 86-foot-long stage. The curtains opened and the show started. First, we could see Mickey Mouse, who came into view on a pedestal that rose from the floor. Then, the rest of the orchestra appeared. The orchestra was composed of 23 Disney characters from Mickey's friends, Minnie, Goofy, Daisy, and Pluto, to earlier characters like Dumbo, Timothy Mouse, the Mad Hatter, the March Hare, Gus Gus and Jock, and more recent movies at the time like Baloo, Kaa, King Louie, Winnie, Piglet, and Rabbit. The next scene showed the big bad wolf's shadow in a curtain before it opened and revealed the 3 little pigs, playing and singing their song for a bit before the curtain closed again and the next scene started. Then Snow White and the forest animals appeared, sitting on a wooded hillside. She sang "I'm Wishing" while the other animals listened. After she finished, another area of the stage came into view where we could find the 7 dwarves in their cottage, playing the Silly Song. They played for a while until the curtain closed again. To the far right of the stage, the curtain rose again, showing us Alice standing surrounded by the many oversized flowers. During the scene, Alice and the flowers sang "All in the Golden Afternoon." This was one of the best scenes in the show. The colors, the movements, and everything else looked amazing. Next, a flying carpet rose from the left of the orchestra. On this carpet, we could find the Three Caballeros. Donald, Panchito, and Jose Carioca sang the Three Caballeros theme in a blaze of music and color. The coolest part about this scene is that each of the Caballeros appeared and disappeared many times across the stage while singing their song. Just before the song ended, they appeared together again on the carpet and then disappeared. Suddenly, the fairy godmother and Cinderella appeared. The fairy godmother began to sing Bippity Boppity Boo and waved her wand around. A shower of twinkling lights appears and turns Cinderella into a princess. The rear curtain lowered and a projection of Cinderella and Prince Charming was seen, dancing and singing So This Is Love. When the projection finished, Brer Fox, Brer Bear, and Brer Rabbit appeared singing their theme song. Soon after, the whole cast appeared and sang together. Then, the entire stage went dark except for Mickey. The Mickey Mouse Alma Mater started playing, and then Mickey announced that the show was over. The show lasted 9.5 minutes, and it was amazing. But as time passed, fewer people were visiting it. In fact, the attraction was downgraded from an E to a D ticket attraction, which was pretty rare. When the Oriental Land Company began touring Disneyland and Disney World and choosing the attractions they wanted to have in the new Tokyo Disneyland Park, the Mickey Mouse Revue was on top of their list, and it was a lot less expensive to ship the original attraction overseas instead of recreating it. So, the attraction closed on October 1st, 1971, and reopened in Tokyo Disneyland on April 15th, 1983. The attraction was open for another 26 years until it sadly closed on May 25th, 2006, to be replaced by Mickey's PhilharMagic. We don't know what happened to every animatronic in the show, but we do know that the Mickey animatronic is safe and sound in the Walt Disney Archives. It was even on display in the 2011 D23 Expo Treasures of the Walt Disney Archives. We also know that in 2016, Disney quietly reused the Three Caballeros animatronics for the Gran Fiesta Tour attraction at Epcot's Mexico Pavilion, as a replacement for the end scene that we could see previously on screen. The Timekeeper and Nine-Eye. The Timekeeper. Le Visionarium opened at Euro Disney in 1992. This attraction was a 360 theater, just like Circle Vision 360 at Disneyland. But in this attraction, not only landscapes were used, but there was also a plot. This attraction was also a pioneer in using audio animatronics in conjunction with the 360 theater. There were also two more versions of the attraction that opened at other Disney parks. One was Visionarium, which opened on April 15, 1993 at Tokyo Disneyland, and the other was the Timekeeper, which opened on November 21, 1994 at the Magic Kingdom. The three versions of this attraction were nearly identical, except for the pre-show and some changes in the scenes. The attraction takes us to different time periods with the Timekeeper and his assistant, Nine-Eye, a robot designed to use her 9 eyes to show us adventures from the past and future. The Timekeeper has created a machine that travels through time and takes us on a journey through historical events around Europe with encounters with characters like H.G. Wells and Jules Verne. It began with a pre-show where either the Timekeeper or Nine Eyes explained to us what we were about to see. They told us about the Timekeeper's newest invention, a time-traveling machine, and how Nine-Eye would use it first and let us see this through her eyes. After the pre-show, we entered the theater where the Timekeeper, in animatronic form, welcomed and introduced us to his time machine. Suddenly, Nine-Eye appears, demanding to be introduced to us. He tells us that she's the one that is going to help us record our journey through time. He turns on the machine and sends Nine-Eye all the way back to the Jurassic era. Then the Ice Age, battles in Scotland, the Renaissance with Da Vinci, the musical beginnings of Mozart, and many other historical events. Then, the Timekeeper announces that it is time to go see H.G. Wells and Jules Verne. Nine-Eye captures a discussion between Wells and Verne about the future and time travel. Verne says that time travel is impossible, but Nine-Eye rebutes his claim and appeared to the author. He is surprised and tries to grab her. The Timekeeper sees this and tries to bring her back, but accidentally takes Jules Verne back too. The Timekeeper wants to send him back, but Verne says he wants to stay and know more about the future he speaks so much about. So, the Timekeeper agrees to take him to explore the present world. He takes him to see modern Paris, to the bottom of the sea, driving a race car, and even to the moon. After this adventure, the Timekeeper returns Verne to his time, where Nine-Eye and Verne say goodbye, while Wells watches, confused. Nine-Eye returns to the present, where she finds that the Timekeeper is not satisfied and wants to make a new demonstration by taking a group of people to the future. So, they go to the year 2189, where they find Wells and Verne driving the same flying car that Wells was holding in the past. The show ended as they were jetted off, and Timekeeper wished everyone well. The animatronics used for this attraction were pretty impressive. The Timekeeper had an incredible range of movements, and Nine-Eye was accompanied by steam effects that simulated she was being propelled in the air by some kind of futuristic motor. we were also lucky to have a fantastic cast for this attraction, with Robin Williams, Rhea Perlman, and even Jeremy Irons. The attraction closed on September 1st, 2002 in Tokyo Disney, followed by Disneyland Paris on September 5th, 2004, and finally Magic Kingdom on February 26, 2006. This is pretty sad, but we're sure that the animatronics are stored safely at the Walt Disney Archives. Or they might be time traveling.
Okay, show's over. Get out of here, you little numbskulls. I love you. Thank you for coming today. Get out!
Food Wrapper, Food Rocks. Food Rocks replaced Kitchen Cabaret when the latter closed in 1994. The show opened on March 26, 1994, in the Land Pavilion at Epcot. It was themed as a benefit concert for good nutrition, where groups like the Peach Boys, Refrigerator Police, the Get the Point Sisters, and many more played for guests. The music was based on popular songs by well-known performers, with lyrics adapted to the topic of nutrition, like the Peach Boys singing Good Nutrition, or the Refrigerator Police singing Every Bite You Take. The whole benefit was hosted by Food Wrapper, who is voiced by real-life rapper Tone Loc.
Now here's your host, Food Wrapper. Hey, thanks everybody. You know, your food knows a thing or two about eating right.
The show was being interrupted all the time by the XS, a junk food heavy metal band that hated nutrition. The show had 12 musical numbers and lasted 12 minutes. The audio animatronics in the show were food items with human features that had very limited motion. Exaggerated lighting effects and high volume tried to hide the lack of animation. Actually, some of them looked like props. The most complex animatronic we could find in this attraction was Food Wrapper, and he was definitely in the top 3 favorites. He had a lot of personality and much more movement than the other animatronics in the attraction. This attraction closed down on January 3rd, 2004 to make way for Epcot's new attraction, Soarin'. The animatronics disappeared for a while until in 2006 when they started being sold by MouseSurplus.com and on eBay. They were stored in a warehouse until they were bought, so currently they are probably in the hands of Disney park collectors. Stitch, Stitch's Great Escape. We've talked about this attraction endlessly, and whether you like it or hate it, we can all agree that the Stitch animatronic was pretty impressive. This attraction replaced Extraterrestrial Alien Encounter on November 16, 2004, and it told the story of how the Galactic Federation Prisoner Teleport Center is looking for recruits to be guards. So, we enter the attraction and start our training. Suddenly, Captain Gantu interrupts us to let us know that a level 3 prisoner was being beamed into the center. So we need to get to the teleportation chamber to retrieve him. This prisoner is Stitch. The Stitch animatronic was an amazingly advanced figure created by Imagineers. It was actually the only thing that was worthwhile in this attraction. He walked around on his elevated platform, his arms moved around, his ears and spine spikes twitched, he used to blink, laugh, growl, and turn 360 degrees. He also used to spit and burp. This was one of the most hated Disney attractions ever. If you want to know some of the reasons why, check out our video. But that doesn't mean that Stitch's animatronic wasn't amazing. Sadly, the animatronic ended up completely dismantled and destroyed. We are not sure why it wasn't repurposed, but it's sad to see such a great animatronic gone. We know some of your suggestions were left out, so we'll be doing the last part of this series soon. If you want to suggest other animatronics, be sure to let us know in the comments.
Hi guys, we hope you enjoyed the video today.
Today we have a special giveaway for you.
We've teamed up with our friends from Florida Candles Gifts and we'll be giving away a delicious gift set.
All you need to do is follow both our accounts on Instagram and comment what is your favorite Disney smell on our latest post. The winner will be announced in next week's video.
And if you can't wait for the giveaway and you want to get some awesome Disney scents, you can always use our code FASTPASS 20% off and get 20% off your next purchase. See you next week!